There it was. Oh, late. All right. Welcome, everyone, to Friday Night Live with John.
And Patty.
Gonna sidekick me.
Sidekick me.
All right. So I'm going to start off with my announcement. Maybe. Here we go. All right. So most of you know we have our private community Zoom page, oh my gosh, Facebook page that it's still going well with the interaction, mostly about food, but that's all right. We all need to get some tips on eating from others. Next Zoom call will be Friday, May 17th. So mark your calendars. Hope you will all be able to join us. Next Saturday, April 27th, we are going to be in Windsor, Connecticut at a holistic craft and craft expo. It's the first time. I've got a flyer. I'll show you in a minute. If you know anybody in the Windsor area that you think could utilize our help, we'll be there with our Tanita machine and the Zyto and talk to people about wellness. Or if you want to come by yourselves and just stop and say hi. Love that as well. Half Day Beauty Special. For those of you who have been around a while, we do a Half Day Beauty Special throughout the year, Christmas time, Mother's Day, but it's available almost anytime if you just ask for it, Valentine's. I'll talk about that in a minute as well. And one of our clients who's on tonight, Elena Ray, is offering yoga virtually because she is in New Zealand. So, but it's works for our time. Again, it's our morning and her evening, but I've got a flyer on that or some info on that as well. So I'm just gonna keep moving. Lots of announcements today. So this is the Holistic and Craft Expo that we're going to be at next Saturday, the 27th. It is at 26th, a week from tomorrow. Okay, what's it? It's 26 Central Street in Windsor. The people that own or operate the Bean at 226 on Broad Street in Windsor are the ones that are hosting it. So they found us and we're happy to join. So if anyone is interested, I'll add the link or this flyer when I send the email out for the recording. Thank you. And just remind me, so on Saturday, 27th, our East Hampton and West Hartford offices will be closed. Just our Southwick office will be open. So this is our half day of beauty special. For those of you who are local, it consists of a contour body wrap, paraffin wax hand dip, facial, lift or clay, and a 1 hour body massage, regularly $230. Special is $175, or you can get two for $300 if you want to get gift certificates for your loved one, for yourself. The offer is good right now through May 11th. And this is Elena Ray. Like I said, she's from Australia, and she was on a Candida program for 3 months and did well. It was tricky working with her that far across the world, but she did it. We were supportive of her, and she is offering yoga classes. So the link for her classes is down the bottom of the page, but I will add that to the email as well. And Elena, do you want to say a couple things? Offer some
Yeah, thank
input on
you.
your type of yoga?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I feel like yoga is for everyone, and I think that everyone should have the opportunity to do it. And if you are afraid of yoga because you think you can't touch your nose to your toes, then you'll be in the right place. Because yoga is really a healing modality and it works so well. In fact, it's scientifically got lots of statistics now about how it helps you to want to hear your body. So it works ideally alongside these amazing programs that John and Patty and the team provide, because if you find that you're dreaming of the wrong things, then just by helping your body to calm down and listen to it and let it speak to you, then most people find that they actually want to carry on looking after it. It helped me enormously through the program. So I'm just really excited to share it by Zoom. So yeah.
Good.
Any
Thank you.
questions? I think I will. These are like one-off classes, but they're going to be regular. And so I'm always open to questions as well, if anybody wants to know how it can work for them. Thanks very much.
And I will, when I send the recording out, Elena Ray, I can send your email address as well, if you don't mind. So
Yes,
if anyone wants
that'd
to
be great.
contact you
Yeah.
directly.
And that picture isn't New Zealand,
Good.
the elephants.
All right.
But I thought it symbolized the
Oh.
strength and the harmony and the togetherness. So
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I took that off your newsletter.
yeah.
All right.
And it
But then
says
there's Elena Ray
it's
and,
me providing.
and our little dog Willow.
Yeah, that's my little Willow. That is
All
New
right.
Zealand.
Great. All right. Wonderful. All right. So we are going to talk about emotional health. Take it away, John.
Okay, before we get started, I would like to share some good news. We have a new staff member, part of our team, and her name is Melissa. She's on Melissa. Wave so people can see who you are.
Hi, everyone.
She started this week, and I'm glad to have her aboard. Patty's been working with her mostly, and if Patty can work with somebody a few days and they're still here, then I guess you got a winner. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, she started with you. So
Well, that's why she's still here.
Be free of working with me.
But we're welcome. So glad to have her. Paired with Ashley. Ashley has been a godsend to us. She has been here going on a year now, and might be right at a year, right, Ashley?
July.
Yeah, July.
What was it, July?
July.
Oh,
She started.
oh, okay, July. Okay, so almost getting there. But right now I'm very pleased with Ashley and Melissa and Patty. So trying to grow our team a little bit. It's been hard trying to find the right fits. So I just wanted to introduce her. You'll be meeting her, and she'll be with me in West Hartford tomorrow. So those of you coming in West Hartford tomorrow get to meet her face to face. Some of you might have already met her. But again, I want to welcome her aboard and just let everybody know who she is. And thus far, first week, very quality young lady, and glad to have her. So,
Absolutely.
okay. And
Thanks.
so now we're going to go into emotional health. So I said, okay. Last month we talked about emotional health, and I just felt that it was something that I wanted to spend a little bit more time on. And tonight I'm going to ask for some interaction. In fact, I'm going to try to make it so that I can get people to say what they think and the different topics. And I have 9 different things I'm going to touch on, and that I want people to think about. And I got these 9 basically from sermons at my church. And I believe most of you that know me at all know I'm very spiritual. I believe, I'm a believer. And I believe that healing and faith is so closely intertwined, and that we have to keep our mind in the same way. We have to take care of our body. We have to use it and believe that it's a temple, both the physical and the mental being that we have. And since the last 3-4 years, maybe COVID I don't want to blame anything, but I just feel that emotionally people are just so much in a rut oftentimes because of things that are going on, the world situation, on and on. I could go on forever, and I won't because I don't want it to ever sound political. But I believe that we're in a state of mental confusion with everything that's going on and everything that has happened. And I believe it's really affecting our physical health. And it's affecting virtually everything. It's affecting our energy levels. It's affecting our relationships. It's affecting our outlook on life. It's affecting what we believe in the hereafter. It's just affecting everything. And so I wanted to touch on it and kind of talk about a few things. So the first one is having a healthy soul. And this one is your inner life is more important than your outer life. And so I'm going to I'm just going to call out a name and ask if you would tell me when you see that have a healthy soul, what would you say that means to you or your opinion of that? Pick a name. I'll just reach in the bowl here and pick a name. Okay. I'm going to ask, that's what we'll do because later on we're going to have drawings anyway. So I'll just pick a name and ask somebody if they would. Ed, what does that mean to you, have a healthy soul? And that your inner life is more important than your outer life. What does that mean to you? Are you there, Ed?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean to you?
It's hard to describe, but a healthy soul means a good relationship with God Himself and Jesus, and taking care of yourself and having good relationships with other people. Your soul is kind of the director of how you relate to other people as well as God Himself. So those, I think, are the most important parts of it.
Excellent. Excellent. Anybody else have a thought? Don't be bashful.
Can I share?
Sure.
Obviously there's no right or wrong answer. I thought about it as you're not tied to like external things. Like you know that there's so much more to life than the external. So to have a happy soul is kind of just have a good relationship with yourself because you're not tied to what's kind of going on externally. As long as you have like inner peace, inner strength within yourself, that's kind of all that matters, I guess.
Excellent. Excellent. Both of those are excellent thoughts. Okay. And my feeling is having a healthy soul and having, your inner life is more important than your outer life is. Oftentimes, I believe that we as a society, as people, we try to portray something that we might not be. That we are, we want people to look at us. Oftentimes, we want to look at us in a way and hope that we're reflective in a certain way when perhaps we're not quite that way. Maybe we need some of the work to be done on ourselves, or we're so worried about how we look. In our practice, we always talk about, and everybody's been told, we never worry about weight. It's about how you feel internally. It's everything about the internal being of our body, whether it's the mental, the physical, everything. Not that we should be happy if we have a very high BMI or something like that, but we can always work on it. But we have to love ourselves. And having a happy soul, Ed kind of hit on, I thought, your relationship with people, not just with your spouse, not just with your children or whatever it might be, but with the people in general, the people that you come in contact with. That smile you give somebody might just make their day. And that's the healthy soul that every day, every time you turn around, you just want to be, you want to look at things in the positive and just let your soul shine and not worry about the things that people might think of you. That if you're your soul is healthy, if you're doing the right things for people and you have the right relationships. To me, that's what it is. It's so much more than the outer part of us. It's what's inside in our heart, in our being, in our mind, and the things that we do day to day to help people that are around us and surround us. Okay. Anybody else have a thought on that one before we move on?
I've got thoughts.
What was that?
Say that again.
Can you hear me? I've got, yeah, this is something that I feel is the most important thing too, and it's impossible to sum it up, although I love everything that everybody said. And I think I would love to hear people have more conversations about this, because we hear so much about the negative things in the world, and that takes us into the fear of the outer, and that cuts people off from their spiritual connection. But the more I hear people talking about spiritual connection and the lightness, I think if we all remembered that and connected with it, we couldn't fight. There wouldn't be wars, there wouldn't be problems, there wouldn't be, all the terrible things happening in the world. And if the news could focus on the positivity, the world would change pretty much overnight. So I love hearing about it. I do agree. I think it's the most important thing.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, number 2. Stay positive toward yourself. Nobody should think better of you than you do. Ooh. Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. So, Maureen, we're going to keep it in the family. Maureen, what do you think of that?
Maureen Terry, Maureen Pierce.
I think what?
Maureen Pierce is on.
Oh, this is Maureen Terry. I'll put Maureen Pearson. Come on, Maureen. Understand?
Yes, right there.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm sorry.
Oh, she's passing.
Okay. Okay. Who else would like to? Maureen Pierce, are you there?
Pierce.
Who would like to say something about this?
Well, nobody's jumping, so I'll
Okay.
jump.
Good.
Thanks, Kim.
I think no problem. I think we all kind of do this and we don't realize when we do it. Like, I can think of an example that I did earlier today to myself, because I was looking for something and it was literally right in front of me. And I said, oh, what an idiot. So it's that kind of thing you're talking about, right?
It can be.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I think even though that seems very small and simple, I think we really have to be conscious about our own opinion of ourselves, because as much as we feel like it matters what other people think of us, it matters more what we think of ourselves, because then we can shine. If we think really good about ourselves, that our interactions with other people will reflect that way.
Wonderful. And it ties in to me with the one we just talked about. Okay. So we always talk in here about love yourself. And it's my belief, when Ed mentioned earlier the relationship we have with people, we are a people to ourselves. Okay. And if we don't take care of ourselves and love ourselves, I believe you cannot love others. You first have to start with yourself. And for my being, it has to be the love of God. It has to be the love of yourself. And then everything else will fall into place below that. All right. We have a tendency to put everything ahead of us, everybody else ahead. I hear this so much, and more women than men. I can't do anything. I won't invest money. I won't do this for myself because I have a husband, I have children, I have this and that. But the problem is you have to take care of yourself and think that you're worthy and you're worth the investment, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's whatever it may be. And we have to quit sacrificing for everybody else and put ourselves in the back. One of the things I used to tell people is, and again, especially women, you know, for the most part, who runs the household? And most of the time, it is the female in that type of relationships. And I always say you can't make yourself the caboose and make the train run. You have to be out front and take care of yourself and do the things that you need to do to bring everything else with you, the family, the friends, etc. So oftentimes we don't have that relationship with ourselves, but yet we feel we want to have a relationship with everything else. And I believe that we put out an aura. And last month we talked about when we're with people that do certain things, we have a tendency to fall in that being. Okay. For example, if you're with people that are out and they eat too much, we have a tendency to eat too much. People can tell us, you know, do this, and we do it. But we have to look at ourselves and say, no, I'm better than that. I don't need that. And then other people will follow your lead, or we can choose to follow their lead and go other directions. So we have to stay positive and we have to love ourselves. I believe it's all about love towards ourselves. And that also combines into having a healthy soul. But we got to start with ourselves rather than everything else.
Excuse me,
Don't
John.
worry about what other people think. Yes.
John. Yeah, Judy, it's also, as you know, in the Bible and what God tells us is that we're made in his image and likeness. And so we're told to love God and to love yourself. So, you know, that's one of the commandments, you know.
Exactly.
And that,
okay. Absolutely.
You know, that would be enough. That would be a basis to be positive and to use whatever gifts he's given you and to help you stay positive, you know.
Great. And the best way to start that is every morning, and some of you heard me say this, look in the mirror, look at yourself, first thing in the mirror. So first thing in the morning, I'm sorry, look in the mirror and look yourself right in the eye and tell yourself that you love that person in the mirror. Start the day with that. And why do you do it in the morning? Because that's when we really look our worst. It's easy to look at something that's all made up and dressed up and everything and say, oh, you look good. But if you look at yourself in the mirror, when I first get up and my hair's aimed in every direction and, you know, I need a shave and etc., then you know, and when you can say that with positivity, you know you're going in the right direction. Okay? That's why it's important to do it first thing in the morning and do it every morning. And then pretty soon you'll be thinking more positive about yourself throughout the day as well.
John,
anybody else have a thought on that?
Question about this?
Sure.
Okay, so how does the humility work into this this idea? And I do agree with you that we are to love ourselves, and we have to love ourselves first because we can't love others if we don't do that. Love God first, then ourselves. And so I agree with you, but can you talk a little bit about humility, which is also something that we should be practicing? How does that fit into this concept?
Okay, because it's in the mind and it's how you present it. Okay, so in other words, the humility. If I say to Patty, I come to work every morning and I see Patty and I say, man, aren't I just the most gorgeous guy you ever saw in your life? Okay, I just think I'm the smartest person in the world. That's where you lose your humility. Okay, you know, I'm humble. People tell me, oh, you know, you helped me so much, you saved my life. Patty will tell you this too. And I go, no, I really didn't. Okay. But I believe that people do it on their own. That's humility. I don't want you going, you know, looking in the mirror and other people around and say, you know, I'm the best thing that's God ever put on this earth. Okay. But we have to believe in our mind that we are next to God. And if we believe that God is great and God put me on this earth, then I got to be good. but I don't need to tell Patty that. If I believe in my heart that I'm a good person, it's gonna pass to her and you and anybody else that comes along, because I don't need to say it. It's all in the actions. Okay. It's the way we carry ourselves. It's the way we take care of people. It's the way we talk to people. It's the way we help people. That is, we love ourselves. And because we love ourselves, we pass that love on to other things. But I don't need to do something for Patty. For example, I bought her lunch today. And if I'm not going to sit here and say, well, you know, you're really lucky I bought you lunch. Okay. Or why didn't you thank me for buying lunch? No, that's where we get away from and get into the humility problem. We just do things because we love ourselves, and that exudes to other things and other people.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay? I don't know if that answers your question, but
yes, thank you. That's a good thought about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, next, choose to be happy. Okay, I love this one. Choose to be happy. We have two choices. Who wants to jump in? If somebody will jump in, that's even better than me asking. If nobody does, I'll ask somebody to, but who wants to talk about happiness? Lenore, would you talk about happiness?
There you go. Hi, everybody. Yeah, it's a good topic, and it's something that it can be a choice. You know, there are days I can struggle with depression and all that kind of thing, but yeah, I do certain things like, you know, prayer is important, and affirmations are important, as John alluded, and you know, it's something I read a book on running about these distance runners, and something they suggested, you know, to kind of get through the gruelingness of the runs and their, you know, lengthy miles and stuff was to smile. Just smile while you're doing it, you know, and it sort of shifts you, and excuse me, and I find when, you know, when I'm struggling or I'm upset with something or whatever, you know, if I can just sort of catch myself, you know, say a little prayer and just smile, like, you know, how important is it? Or just put a smile on my face, even if I'm in a troublesome circumstance, it can shift your psyche. So that's my thoughts on happiness. And, you know, happiness begets happiness, right? So if you're walking down the street and you're stone-faced and you're not smiling at the people around you, then chances are they're going to be stone-faced too. But if you smile, it's remarkable how many people will just smile back, like, huh. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice. Heather?
Yeah, along the same line, sometimes we can't control our circumstances or what's going on around us. Sometimes the only control we have is how we react to those things. So choosing to be happy versus the opposite, it really is a choice. So it's about our reaction to things. We can choose to be happy and put a smile on our face and fake it till we make it.
Nice.
And Heather's really good at smiling, I will admit, okay, and being happy every time I've seen her. Yeah. And choose to be happy. Lenore mentioned, you know, we go through trying times. And when we go through these things, we're not saying that you're going to be happy all the time, and if there's a bad time you're not happy, you're wrong. That's not the way it works. But what we need to try to do is to understand that we don't have to stay in the basement of unhappiness for long periods of time. We are going to go through things that are going to bring us down. Nobody ever promised that life was going to be perfect and wonderful all the time. It's said in scripture, it's said everywhere that it is a trial. It is difficult. Okay. And life was meant to be that way, I believe. But at some point, we have to, every situation, we have to say, okay, is there a bright side to it? Is there? And sometimes it's so hard to find. It's so hard to find. But the key part is smiling. Put a smile on your face. Find something that makes you laugh. Okay. And one of the classes I talked about, I go and listen to little clips of some of these comedians from long ago. Okay. Steve Harvey and I can't think of Tim Conway and stuff. I listen to some of them. I just listen to them and it makes me laugh. And once I start laughing, I find that I forget the problem. Okay. It kind of goes away. It doesn't go away. That's wrong. It fades a little bit. Okay. And if we stay in that down mode too long, then our mind goes that way. If we can stay in the happy house, our mind goes that way. So we have to know the things that make us laugh. All right. A lot of times, Patty and I'll be talking about something serious and she'll say something that's funny and we laugh. And then we kind of go, okay, we'll get through it, whatever it might be, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. I have to give it to Patty because she laughs a lot and she makes me laugh. Okay. So you got to find the people that make you laugh and make you happy. And it doesn't have to be somebody you live with. It can be a friend. You can call a friend. Today, driving from West Hartford to Southwick, I called a dear friend that I've known I used to work for him in the Air Force, and we laughed, Sam. Yeah, we laughed for about 20 minutes. And when I got to Southwick, I just felt really good, okay? So that's the kind of thing, but we have to look for those. It's not going to fall in our lap, but we got to say to ourselves, look, what can I find right now to help me get out of this feeling? The problem will still be there, but we got to get away from it mentally. Because when we're not happy, what do we normally do? Things that we shouldn't do. We eat too much. We look for something for comfort. And both Lenore and Heather said, laugh. And when you start laughing, you forget about those other things. And that's the fun part. Anybody else have a comment on choose to be happy?
I would say, John, to be grateful too, to focus on the good, look for the good.
But sometimes it's hard to find the good. Okay. So we have to start with the little things. And the little thing is kind of a laughter, something just small, that'll take you down that path to find that gratefulness and stuff like that. So, yeah. So find the little thing that make you kind of smile, and then smile will turn into a laugh will turn into better feeling, etc. But every day is a challenge. Every situation is a challenge. And we just got to learn to try to work towards that each and every challenge that comes our way. So, and Lenore talked about running. Every time I used to run, it was a chore, because when I'd start and get the first half mile or quarter mile, I would am I really want to do this? And then I'd just say, okay, how do I do this? Because I know I have to do it. So that's the way we work. Next, let it go. Let it go. Okay, this kind of comes back to last month. We talked about this. When you bury negative emotions, they never die. The things that are bothering us, and if we go back to the happy part, the things that are bothering us and we look for ways to be happy, we can start getting rid of those negative emotions. Okay. And letting it go doesn't mean we have to sit and tell somebody all of our problems. I don't have to sit and tell Patty all my problems, okay? Because she has her own problems. Believe me, I know she does, okay? I'm working on it now. So everybody has their own problems, but we have to learn to let it go. We have to learn. We do this a lot with EVOPs, okay? And there's a few people that are on here that have done the EVOPs. But oftentimes when we let go, last month, Ashley made a comment that she was going to do it, and she did. After the class, a few days or weeks, I don't know, after the class, but and I think she told me she really felt good after she did one session. Am I right, Ashley? Is she still with us? Okay, well, anyways, she did tell me that she felt really good. After she did it, she scheduled another one. She told me yesterday. I didn't know it was on the calendar. But we have to learn to, who wants to talk a little bit about letting things go and the way to do it?
I can pitch in.
Go ahead.
So as John obviously knows, there was one session where I did the EVOC, and it took me 22 times to repeat something to let it go. And it's insane to realize like how buried something can really be, and you just don't notice it until you really face it. So I feel like half the battle is just awareness, because sometimes like the saying goes, ignorance is bliss. So sometimes we choose, like we know something is there, but then we kind of choose to ignore it until like you cannot choose to ignore it anymore. So awareness is half the battle. And then once it's there, it's like you have to be almost patient with yourself. Because even after I said it 22 times, there were moments where, you know, it came up, but in that moment, I just, you know, kept repeating the affirmation. And just like John was saying, when you look into the mirror and you tell yourself every single morning, I love myself, and it really starts to be a part of you, to the point that every time I would think of that specific situation, immediately my mind will repeat the affirmation before I even say it out loud. So it really, awareness is half the battle, but then also just being patient with yourself in the moment, because you've hidden that for so long that of course it's going to take a while for you to like really just like let it go, but being really patient with yourself is very important as well.
Thank you, Luz. Yes. Luz is in her early 20s and she's come so far. You're doing such a great job, young lady.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have to let go. We have to let go. We have to learn to do things like tapping. If people that don't know what tapping is, that can help you. Breathe through it, look at it, and then try to find a different light. How to see something. And for everything that's might be negative, I've always believed there is something positive. No matter what it is, there is a positive to it. Okay. I use this scenario. If there's a storm comes and wipes out a home or a business or a community, there is some bright light somewhere. Yes, we focus on the agony, we focus on the loss, but there are bright things that come out of it. Okay. So just like every winter, there's spring coming, like we're in spring, that's an opening, that's a new, just have to let go of all those pent up things and say, you know what? Let me find the positive and let me just let that negative go and get rid of it. I believe in prayer. I believe in positive affirmations and being around people that don't harbor on the negative, but want to look at the positive. Because I have a bad habit of always looking for the negative. Okay. That's my protective mode. And I've worked hard at learning to say it's not worth being there. We got to let it go and let it change. And some people have lived a really tough life and had a lot of bad things happen to them. So, you know, we might be sitting there saying, you know, you don't know what's happened to me. And that's true. But if we carry it, it becomes baggage, it becomes heavy, and pretty soon we get to a point we can't carry it. And so we got to unload and make the load lighter mentally. And that's going to help our physical being as well. Okay. Next is live in the present.
Can I ask a question?
And sure.
What is that EVOC that you're referring? What is that?
Okay. Who spoke there?
Anne.
Oh, okay. That's the affirmations. We can scan just like we do the Zyto, and we can it'll tell me the things that a person emotionally needs to work on. It's kind of getting into the mind. And I'll use Luz because she mentioned she did it. She's done several. And you pick. It'll show the ones that you most need to work on. And then you pick from 5 or 6 different ones that you want to work on. And it's all voice communicated. So basically what it is, and if you let me give you this example. If you're on your way home and you call Lenore and she answers the phone, can you tell by her voice if she's happy, upset, anything like that?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Most of the time we can, okay? And it's voice activated. It's how our brain, and people will say, I'll use Patty as an example. She'll call some mornings and on her way to work and she'll say, what's wrong? And I'll go, nothing. And she goes, there is, I can tell by your voice, the way you know, and your tone and, actions. We carry it. We don't want to explain it to people. So it's voice activated. So it's a scanning, and then the machine will tell us when, after repeating that affirmation enough times, when you get a release. So it's fun. Most people, when they first do it, they're a little nervous. But
I'm sorry, I wouldn't say it's fun initially, not lose. It's a little scary, to be honest, because you're releasing, like Lou said, buried feelings, things that you don't want to remember, or it's, you're aware of it, but just keep it stuffed inside. But the more you say it, and then you relax and listen to some music, you can sometimes tell when the client, or even when I was doing it one time, it's like I all of a sudden just felt
different.
Just like lighter, like all of a sudden, yeah, wow, it's gone, or more so it's I'm accepting it. Not that it's gone, I just accepted what I had buried.
It's a release. But we can talk now that you're back. We'll show it to you.
Thank you.
Okay, live in the present. Don't lose what you have while going after what you want.
Okay, so let's just pause. So Katara just put in the chat, it's emotionally taxing, but it helps if you're willing to work through it. And that's perfect.
Thank you.
That's very good. Thank you.
That's a client that's done it. And
yeah.
No, she sent it to everybody, so I can say her name.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Katara.
All right, good.
I have a comment on this one. It's just a quote I heard the other day, which is,
sure,
life can be understood forward, but only backwards, but only lived forwards.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, excellent. Okay, live in the present. Don't lose what you have while going after what you want. Okay. Anybody want to comment on that before we go? I know I'm taking more time than I thought, but so for those of you who read scripture, in Psalm 118, it says, "This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and live in it." And that sums it up to me perfectly. It is about today. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is the future. We can't do anything about the future, and we cannot do anything about the past. It's only about right now, today. Whether it's the people you're around, whether it's the things you're going to do, we have to learn not to be today and thinking about what we should have done yesterday and what we hope we can get done tomorrow. Okay? We have to learn to live in the present, because we put way too much stress on our mind by worrying about things that we cannot change. You can't change it, okay? The only thing you can change is what you're doing and feeling and thinking and how you're acting right now. If you made a mistake yesterday and you said something that you wish you hadn't said, it's past. You can't take it back. You can't change it, etc. Nor can you do anything about what's going to happen tomorrow. So you have to live for today, for right now, this moment. For those listening to class, if you're thinking about other things and not thinking about yourself and taking care of yourself, then you're losing out. So that's what it means to live in the present. Okay? It's just about, every day is about the journey. But today is part of my journey. Okay? The journey can't be about tomorrow. It's just about today. What have I done for people today? What can I do for people today? And what can I do for myself today? That's all there is. So you have to make the most of each day, and most importantly, you have to enjoy the day. Do everything you can to enjoy the day. Anybody want to comment on that before we move on?
Can I just quickly say, because I don't know if it is a hymn as well, but excuse me, I love that. I love singing that. This is the day, and it let us rejoice and be glad in it. And it kind of sums up all the things that you said. If you feel a bit low and you sing something really positive, it's almost impossible to stay unhappy. So that's one of my favorite things to sing if I ever need to pick me up.
Nice.
Good.
John?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, I'm reading a book called The Mindful Catholic, and it could be Christian Catholic, Finding God One Moment at a Time. And this author is a doctor, Gregory Bottaro, and he talks about how to get help from ruminating, with your thoughts, living in the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about the importance of recognizing your thoughts, not fighting them, recognizing them,
right,
but then letting them float by. And you achieve that through your prayerful meditation, on a daily basis. He has all these exercises. He has a website and an app, and they're really
mm-hmm.
helpful.
Okay, wonderful. Whatever it is that helps you to let go of things, and the thought you just said, let them float by. The ones you don't want, let them just go. Okay. Okay, number 6. Let go of control. This is probably my toughest one. Okay. Let go of control. My whole life, I have been, because of childhood, different things going on in my childhood, I always felt I needed to be in control. And the thing is that we have to let go of people that are totally in control or feel they have to be in control, hurt themselves badly, okay? Mentally and physically. I believe that when I was sick, it was primarily because of my inability to just let go of control and let things happen. And when we overwork the brain, just like if you overwork a muscle, it is going to hurt, okay? It is going to fail us. And it's hard to let go. Most of us have been raised, you've got to get ahead, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. But you know what? We just have to do what's right. We have a tendency to believe that trouble is a setback. Not really. If you look at it differently, trouble is a learning experience. Okay, it's a way to learn about how you should do or would do if that situation comes up again. And oftentimes we are going to make mistakes and we're going to do the wrong things. But we have to learn to surrender. We have to learn to surrender ourselves. We have to learn to surrender to God. We have to learn to surrender to our partners. We have to learn that. Okay, we cannot be in control of everything because it will not work. There's a few things you can be in control. Then there's other things we have to let go of control and let other people control. Okay, you've got to just understand that you've got to relax and let things happen. Relax and let them happen, because what happens is, even with people on programs, when they stress over the fact their body's not doing what it wants to do, what they want it to do, they fail. Why? Because there's too much stress on it. Their emotional stress affects the physical being. Oftentimes when people come in and they said, you know what? I didn't worry about it. I just said to heck with it. Whatever happens, happens. All of a sudden they have great readings. Their metabolic age drops. And you go, what'd you do different? Nothing. I just said, I don't care. I'm not checking it. I'm not getting on the scale. I'm not doing nothing. Whoa, you let go of control. You're following the protocol. You're saying, okay, just let it work. And then it works. All right. We have to learn that we're not in control of hardly anything in reality in our life. Okay. We're not in control. We have to give it up, but not saying we must do the right things in all aspects of our life. but you can't grab a hold of it and hang on for dear life, thinking that you're going to make things happen the way that you want it to happen all the time. And when I say this, I'm speaking a lot to myself. Okay. Whether it's my business life, my personal life, I've had a bad habit of trying to have too much control. Right?
What?
Who wants to have a comment on that? A quick comment. Anybody? Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one then. Unclutter your mind. Okay. And part of that is letting go of control. Okay. You will never be at peace if your mind is a noisy place. If you're always worried about everything, everything is a problem, everything, whether it be, like it says on there, the family, the job, the finances, your vacation, upcoming vacations, etc. Everything is a problem. Deal with today and today only. Deal with what you can control. Let go of the things that you cannot control. Let go. Don't worry about it. Okay. I talk to people that come in and I say, it's showing me here on your scan that you have all this stress. What's going on? Well, look what's happening in the world. Can you stop it? You can't stop it. You're not going to change it. Okay. If Israel attacks this country or that country attack another country, what, you can't change it. So why are you letting it bother you? Let go. Unclutter. Quit worrying about it. Okay. You cannot hold everything in your mind. You cannot control it. You can't change it. Nothing. All it's going to do is ruin you. It's going to ruin you. But it comes back to the beginning. Stay positive towards yourself. Okay. And just do the things that you can do that are right for you, your family, etc. Just do it. And that's all. That's all that should be in your mind. And we have to learn that if I can't fix it, if I can't change it, why am I going to worry about it? I can't. So it takes a lot of work to get there, but we have to do it. And I'm a firm believer that if you look at people that ended up in their elderly years with Alzheimer's, the different dementia, they were worriers. They carried everything. Everything was a problem, and they thought they had to control everything.
Or the what ifs, right?
And the what ifs. Yes. And that's another thing. Get rid of the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that? And that's part of uncluttering your mind. What if? Okay. You can go the other way. Instead of saying, what if there's a war, you can say, what if there's never another war and everything works out? Okay. So we have to choose and go the other direction. Okay. Stay positive towards everything. Look at the bright side. Any comments on that? Okay.
Well, sorry, John.
Sure.
I just came through like tax season, so my brain is still scrambled. I find myself forgetting things a lot more right now because I went through that than I normally do. So I completely get this, unclutter your mind, because during that time, even though it wasn't on the large scale of world peace, it was still, oh my God, am I going to get this done on time? Am I going to get the answers? Did I do it right? All of that kind of stuff. And I slept horribly during that period.
Okay. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because we have a woman who comes in almost every Saturday, and she's an accountant. And she tells me how stressed she is during tax season. And I said to her, why? Because people don't get me their stuff on time. I keep calling, they don't get it to me. But then that's not your problem then. You can't do what people don't give you. You can't. So it's like me saying, client A is not following the program, and so they're not being successful. I can't control it. There's no sense in me worrying about it. It's their choice. If the people don't want to get you their tax information on time, okay, pay the fine. It's okay. I mean, you can't worry about it. It's not your job. Now, if they get it to you and you don't do it, then that's something you can deal with. But if too many of the people worry about somebody else not doing what they're supposed to do so that you can do what you're supposed to do, it's their business and their problem to get it to you. We have to learn to let go of that. That's part of healing. That's part of staying healthy, both physically and emotionally. I know it's hard. Kim, you're going to say, oh, it is hard. It's hard in my business too. Okay. I have to work and slap myself upside the head sometimes and say, I can't do anything about it. It's their problem, not mine. They don't come in. I can't do anything about it. So, okay. Next, be comfortable not knowing. Have you ever been around the person that knows everything? Every time you tell them something, I know better. I know this. I know. It's okay not to know. It's okay to say, I don't know. But I do know something that does know. Okay? We sometimes think that we have to know everything. And it's, again, I'm going to go back to scripture. And in the Bible, Moses said to God, I don't know how to do this. And God said, I'll do it for you. Just be there. I'll speak for you. So if you take that from that vision, then you've got to understand it's okay. You can't know everything. You can't be an expert at everything. You can't do it all. You can only do, I do what I do. Okay? Somebody comes into me and says, my car's not running. Do you know how to fix it? Nope. Sorry. I can tell you how to fix your body, but your car, you got to go somewhere else because I don't know. All right? But oftentimes we get in these modes where we think we have to know everything for whatever the reason is. I don't know why I used to feel that way, but I did. Okay? We have to be willing to say, that's out of my expertise. If I need to know something about bookkeeping, I'll go to Kim because Kim is a bookkeeper. Okay. If I want to know something about cooking, I'll go to Dale, who was up cooking on the grill. He told me he likes to cook. Okay. I don't know a lot of this stuff. Okay. But I do know what I know, and I want to be an expert in what I do know. And we have to learn that other people have the expertise. It's okay to say, I don't know, and not feel bad about it. Don't feel bad because you don't know. It's okay. The worst thing we do is pretend we know something when we don't. Then we end up misleading people. We end up doing the wrong things or having people do the wrong things. I tell my staff, especially new staff, always, if you don't know an answer, do not answer it. Okay? Just say, I don't know. I'll talk to John. I'll talk to Patty and have him get back with you. That's the only way I know how to operate anymore because nobody's an expert at everything. I personally, even in my business, I'll call Dr. Nelson and say, I got something I think I know, I'm not sure, but before I tell somebody, I want the expert. And I look at her as the expert. And there's been times when she said, you know what, I'm not sure. Let me check it with somebody that she works with to get the answer. And it's a trickle down, okay, which is fine. So rest your mind and be okay not knowing. Okay. And my church said, instead of worrying, worship. Okay. Anybody want to comment? Got one more. Okay. So the last one, live a cause-driven life. Okay. A lot of people aren't happy because they've allowed themselves to get ingrown. Does anybody want to take a stab at what that means? Do you want to say anything? You've been quiet tonight.
I don't know. Does it mean that we kind of get stuck in our lives? We just do the everyday things and we kind of bore ourselves and we're too afraid to take a step out of or into the unknown.
The old saying, step outside the box.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. We get ingrown. We only deal with that little narrow part that we have in our life. Okay. We get tunnel vision and everything is, this is all it can be. This is it. Okay. The world is wide. The heavens are high, the oceans are deep. Okay, we have to understand that. We have to say, you know, get out of my safe zone, get out of it, and start moving in different directions and seeing different things and stuff like that. And that's what will make us happy. If we're unhappy and we're in the basement all the time and we hate the basement, guess what? We're always going to be unhappy because we're always going to stay in the basement because we're afraid to leave the basement. So we have to understand, we have to get out. We have to look, and there's so much in life. So many of my clients, people are on here right now. I have learned so much from you, talking to you and the different things that you go through and have gone through, whether it's during programs or your life. I have been educated and realized there's so much more because I was raised on a dairy farm where you hardly ever left the farm. Okay, so I have learned and grown because of the people that I have been around and that I've been privileged to be around. So yes, live a cause-driven life. All right. Don't discount the small things. It doesn't have to be grandeur. It doesn't have to be standing on top of the mountain. It can be little things, but we just have to step out a little bit and see the opportunities that are available for us. But the key is start small. Like we said earlier, start small, whether it's small thoughts, small movements, everything. It's always going to be small. Like that, start with a smile that turns into a laugh. Start small, okay? And then let it grow, and you will find yourself feeling so much better because you're going to see the value. And you have to understand, if you live a cause-driven life, the cause is worth it, okay? Because life is worth it. And we're only here once. This is a journey. So we might as well say, you know, this is my cause, and this is where I'm going. This is what I want. I want to be happy. I want to be healthy. I want to have good people in my life, and then just take it slow and easy. And I believe it happens. And we become healthier. But most important, our mind releases and relaxes, and we become God-driven, and everything else will fall into place. And we have to love everything around us, to include, most importantly, ourselves, and start with that. Okay. Thoughts, questions, feedback?
I think that gives us all something to think about and to work on. And I guess for each of us, we'd have to figure out which one of those things is our weakest point and start there, because usually that's the hardest one. But I think it's good to have at least a program, I guess, if, for lack of a better word, to follow to try and get ourselves to the best place we can be.
Wonderful. But don't try to do it all by yourself, because you can't. You can't. You've got to have some input. You've got to have some things around you to help you start thinking different and moving forward. So let the bad things be gone. Let them float away. Get rid of them. Try to find all the happy stuff and the happy thoughts, etc. Okay? There a sign behind us?
Yeah, I just got that in the camera.
Whatever you are not changing, you are choosing. And say that again in your mind. Okay? Whatever you're not changing, you are choosing. So, okay. Any thoughts, questions, or is that good?
So those of you who might be interested, you know, local, we can do the EVOX. Long distance, we can do the Zyto. So if you want to learn more about that, give us a call, or when you come in, we can talk about it. And again, our Facebook page, our private Facebook page, it's a good community place to interact with other clients. If you're not on it, click that link or use the QR code and join us. And thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes. And I always like feedback. So if you want to text, email, call, whatever, good or bad, I always like to learn about things that people like to hear, don't want to hear. So Okay, any comments before we have our drawing?
Oh, Iris joined us.
Hi, Iris. You
Uh,
can just wait.
I just
Hi.
Just get home.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put Iris. Okay. All right, we're gonna do a drawing. As we do every class, I have everybody's name in the bowl. I give away 4 prizes every month, and I give away gift certificates. The first one is for $100. You can use it services, product, whatever you want. Second one will be $50, and then we'll do 2 $25 ones. You still have to be on screen to get it. And you have to use it by the end of the day on May 16th, because the class is the 17th. So
Right.
if you don't use it, what's the old saying?
You lose it.
You lose it. Okay. So, we're going to do the drawings. I'm gonna let Patty draw for $100. This is my way of saying thank you for being at class, participating, learning, whatever. And the first winner for $100 is Ed.
Ed,
Congratulations, Ed.
you guys
Well,
have the luck.
Thank you, John and Patty. That's a
You're
pleasant
welcome.
surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, $50. Grandma.
That'd be
Grandma Heather.
Oh,
Heather, you
Thank
still there?
you. Yes, I
Oh,
am.
there she is. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Heather.
First $25. Lose.
You
Awesome.
lose.
And the last 25.
You can go towards your next evox, lose.
Yeah.
Katara.
All right.
You still on, Katara?
Yeah.
She gotta say something.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
There you are. Okay. Okay. So Patty has those written down. So use them or lose them. We want you to learn. Hopefully next month you'll attend. If you know somebody that they don't have to be a client, they can be on. We'd love to have them. I love to share different things with people. So love your feedback. Love to see you as often as we can. And beyond that, I want everybody to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take care of yourselves. God bless you. And just know that we love you. And as I always say, there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Thanks, guys.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
buddy.
Thanks,
much.
John and Patty.
Good night, everyone.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Hi, Heather.
Good night.
Bye.